Welcome to the Morning Report, a production of fightbackmedia.com, the #1 source of urban conservative information in America.
Well, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. I trust that you are doing well today. All right. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and fightbackmediatv.com. Let's get started. So, in a significant shakeup within the U.S. House of Representatives, Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky has reportedly been removed from the House Rules Committee. This action follows Massie's vote against Speaker Mike Johnson's re-election, making him the sole Republican to oppose Johnson in his bid to retain the gavel. The Kentucky congressman, known for his staunch conservative stance, has been a vocal critic of Speaker Johnson since he assumed the role after Kevin McCarthy's ouster last year. Massie's dissent was particularly evident during the debate over the December spending bill, which Johnson championed to stave off a government shutdown. Massie took to social media platform X to criticize Johnson, accusing him of pushing through a massive spending bill during the Christmas recess, a move that drew ire from many conservative lawmakers. He even likened Johnson to Paul Ryan, another former speaker who was often at odds with the conservative wing of the party. Despite these tensions, Representative Massie clarified in a subsequent post on X that his removal from the Rules Committee was not retaliatory. He stated this: "I volunteered to step aside if the speaker wanted to place someone else on the Rules Committee, and he chose that option." Massie also expressed his intent to continue his service on the Judiciary and Transportation Committees. Replacing Massie on the Rules Committees is Representative Morgan Griffith from Virginia, who is also a member of the House Freedom Caucus. This change comes after an agreement made in 2023 when then Speaker McCarthy placed Massie along with Representative Chip Roy from Texas and Ralph Norman from South Carolina on the committee. Massie's opposition to Johnson isn't new. He was part of a previous effort in May of 2024 alongside Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia to force a vote on removing Johnson from his speakership role. This attempt was thwarted when House Majority Leader Steve Scalise proposed a motion to table Greene's resolution, which passed with bipartisan support. The dynamics in the House continue to evolve as these internal conflicts highlight an ongoing struggle between the different factions within the Republican Party. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned is that if for some reason Republicans can't get it together, literally can't get it together, because I mentioned this before. The idea is this. The idea is that you have to act like you won. Not everybody is walking in ideological lockstep. And as far as I'm concerned, part of the conservative way is to understand that not everybody's walking around in ideological lockstep. We're not all one brain like the Democrats are. The leftists are all one brain. So and I say it that way because when it comes down to brass tacks, they always vote together. They always do. Republicans get all enamored when one of them goes off script a little bit, and we're like, "Oh yeah, see, there's dissension in them, yeah." But when push comes to shove, they vote with their party. And what Republicans have to do, I'm not saying conservatives, but what Republicans have to do is understand that there is a benefit to that. You get a little farther ahead. So this whole idea that they had to get rid of Kevin McCarthy, and they did, and they didn't have anybody to replace him really. The person that you should have replaced him with is Byron Donalds, and you didn't. The person that you should have replaced Kevin McCarthy with is Byron Donalds. but you couldn't do it. You didn't have it. You didn't have it. You didn't get it done. Right? So the compromise was Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson, squeaky clean, from the South, Christian, Republican, maybe more Republican than conservative, yes, but he serves a purpose. Recognize that purpose. My opinion. What's your opinion? Write it down in the comments. Write it down in the comment section, which is open. All right. As devastating wildfires continue to ravage California, destroying homes, businesses, and claiming lives, the political response has taken an unexpected turn. Your girl, not mine, Maxine Waters, a Democrat from California, appeared on television to address the crisis. But of course, instead of focusing on solutions, she offered a contentious scapegoat: the wealthy, who she accuses of not paying their fair share despite the state's already high tax rates. Waters, known for her previous calls to confront the Trump administration publicly, has pivoted to critiquing the financial contributions of the rich, arguing that services cost money. This perspective seems particularly out of touch, considering California's status as one of the highest taxed states in the U.S., where even under Democrat rule, the tax burden has driven many to leave due to its oppressive nature. Critics argue that the suggestion by Waters that inadequate taxation led to this wildfire response failure is just misguided. It's not only just misguided, but ludicrous, especially in a state where the tax and spend policies have long been the norm. The reality of governance in California under progressive leadership has shown a disconnect between policy rhetoric and practical action. Despite positioning themselves at the forefront of climate change policies, leaders have been criticized for their lack of preparedness in implementing essential measures like, control burns or maintaining adequate water infrastructure for firefighting. The delays in these critical interventions are staggering, with mechanical forest thinning project taking over 3.5 years on average, and environmental impact statements extending timelines even further. The bureaucratic red tape has deadly implications as highlighted by the ongoing disaster. Adding to the political drama, California's Assembly Speaker, when questioning about the timing of a special legislative session amidst the disaster, sidestepped discussing the political aspects, focusing instead on the fires. However, this session, aimed at Trump-proofing the state, and we're going to talk about this here in a little bit, seems completely disconnected from the immediate crisis at hand, raising questions about the priorities of California's leadership. Moreover, the management of the crisis has been scrutinized further, with reports of Mayor Karen Bass cutting the fire department's budget and Governor Newsom allegedly defunding fire prevention measures, all while they engage in political maneuvering. The absence of Mayor Bass from the city during the crisis's peak has also drawn significant criticism. She was in, Uganda somewhere at a presidential inauguration, right? In conclusion, while California burns, the state's political figures seem to be more engaged in blame shifting and political posturing rather than addressing the urgent needs of their constituents. This scenario underscores a broader critique of governance where power and rhetoric often overshadow practical serving the public. It's absolutely amazing. They've always cared more about what it looks like than what it is. They always do. It's the left. If you had to sort of boil down, distill what Democrats and the left are all about, they're always more concerned about what it looks like than what it actually is. always. So they're more concerned about what they look like on climate change, what they look like on immigration. We're going to talk about immigration just in a second, than what it actually is. A couple of years ago, I made a trip to California for, I was at two events. One of them was Politicon. You probably heard of Politicon. And Politicon was held at the Staples Center. Oh, no, at the Convention Center next door to the Staples Center. So if you've been to Los Angeles, you know that they're sort of on the same property. The Convention Center is here, and then right next door to it, not even across the street, is the Staples Center. Had a great time. Went there as a member of Urban Game Changers at the behest of my dear friend, rest in peace, Shirley Lazar. And we parked, we didn't park on the property. We parked just a little off the property and walked. And I didn't know that she had done this to me on purpose, because she wanted to show some of us what Los Angeles, the town that she came from, had turned into. I saw what people talk about. I saw homeless people. I saw homeless encampments. I saw needles on the ground, the whole nine. All the stuff they talk about, I saw. Just 100 yards from the Staples Center, 100 yards from the Convention Center. And at the same time, the mayor had put out an edict that homeless people who still had their cars couldn't sleep in their cars. Now, there was all sorts of disease going on from fleas, and because fleas bite the rats, and then the fleas bite the humans, and the humans get the disease. Yeah, all this was going on. So the safest place someone could have slept would have been in their car, hopefully, as opposed to sleeping on the ground. But the mayor had decided, and the city council decided, that they weren't going to let people sleep in their cars. I was dumbfounded. And then when you find out that illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, are getting money, getting housing, while Californians, Americans, are being taxed out of their homes and ending up homeless, it was hard to fathom. It was hard to believe. But now, in a move that stirs significant controversy, and should, California Governor Gavin Newsom, alongside fellow Democrats in the state legislature, have agreed to allocate $50 million in taxpayer money to combat the incoming Trump administration and to protect illegal aliens from deportation. This decision comes at a time when the death toll from the fires has tragically reached 24. This special session that I talked about a little bit ago, initiated by Newsom right after Donald Trump's election victory over Kamala Harris, was meant to prepare for potential legal battles against federal policies. Governor Newsom defended the move, stating this: "The freedoms we hold dear in California are under attack, and we won't sit idle." He emphasized readiness and resilience, promising to ensure Californians have the necessary support to thrive under any administration. Now, hang on. We're not talking about Californians. We're not talking about Californians. Like, I know they say all this crap, but we're not talking about Californians. He's talking about illegal aliens. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about $50 million in taxpayer money. And we're going to talk about where it's going here in a second. $50 million in taxpayer money, in Californians' money, to protect illegal aliens from being deported. Illegal aliens have broken federal law, coming into the country illegally. Hang on to those words, illegally. So when somebody like AOC or some of these other people say they haven't broken any laws, yeah, they have. You can't come here illegally. You can't come here without permission. You can't come here like that. You can't just walk across the border like like you're walking from your bathroom to your living room. No, no. So if you come here illegally, then you have broken a federal law. Makes you a criminal. And the least that can happen is that you get sent back home. Anyway, so that's who he's really talking about. He's not talking about Californians when he says to ensure Californians have the necessary support to thrive under any administration. When he's not talking about Californians. He's talking about illegal aliens from all over the world. However, the timing of this financial commitment has not gone without criticism. The $50 million is split, with $25 million going to the California Department of Justice to fend off federal challenges. And the other half, the other $25 million, is aimed at defending immigrants, illegal aliens, against deportation, detention, and wage theft. This decision is set for a vote this week, just days before Trump's inauguration. The backdrop to this political strategy is grim. Firefighters are currently battling 3 major fires in LA, which have scorched an area larger than San Francisco. The loss of life and property has been substantial, drawing sharp rebukes from California's Republican leaders, they're about useless, who argue that the state's priorities are misaligned. Assembly Minority Leader James Gallagher took to social media to voice his dissent, labeling the $50 million as a slush fund for unnecessary legal battles and the defense of criminal illegal immigrants and illegal aliens. His statement reflects a broader Republican critique that the state should be focusing on its resources on the immediate disaster rather than some preemptive political warfare. On the other side of the aisle, of course, Senate Budget Chair Scott Wiener supports the move, arguing that it's a necessary defense against what he terms Trump's extremist agenda. Please. Wiener, known for his advocacy on contentious issues, believes this funding will effectively serve communities by enhancing legal aid services at a crucial time. The debate over these funds underscores a deep political divide within California. Maybe it does. One side prioritizing legal and humanitarian protections in anticipation of federal policy shifts, while the other demands immediate, tangible actions against the ongoing natural disaster. Listen, we're going to keep you updated on all this stuff as it develops. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.